Okay, suppose you wanted to find the distance between these two given points. So if you open up your book, they're going to give you a distance formula. It's going to have all kinds of crazy symbols and stuff. But here's what I always do. So if you want to find the distance between 2 points, always draw a large square root symbol. And then right in the middle, put a plus. And then what I want you to do is open up parentheses, and then put a couple of little baby 2's, and then put a minus. Always set up this skeleton. You see how it looks like empty, like a template? It's kind of like a stamp, like it's always like this. Always draw this exactly as you see it. A square root, and then parentheses with the plus in between, minuses inside, square. Always set it up like that. Now, here's how this works. They give you 2 points. I always like to write them side by side because I always do the same thing. I call this x1, y1, x2, y2. Do you have to label them? Not really, but it doesn't hurt. Because the textbook, when they have the formula, they have x1, y1, x2, y2. But again, I mean, if you want to label them, whatever, but for sure, set this up. Now, here's what I want you to do. You know how these are x's and these are y's? Take the x's, this one and this one, you see that? Take those x's and copy and paste them right here. And then take the y's and copy and paste them right there. So if you want, look, the 2 front numbers go in the front, the 2 back numbers go in the back. I always do it that way. Copy and paste there, copy and paste there. So this would be 2, this would be -4, this should be -3, and that should be 5. Sometimes you have a double negative. Sometimes that happens, which becomes positive. So if you want, you could just type in all of that here. But if you want to do your work by hand, we can do that. Let's see. So in the parentheses, the negative, honestly, that really becomes positive. So it's like 2 plus 4, which is 6. And then look, they're both negative. So add them and keep it negative. Let's keep going. 6 squared is 6 times 6, which is positive 36. -8 squared is -8 times -8. Negative times negative is positive. 8 times 8 is 64. Now addition, add those numbers, that's 100. Now in a calculator, the square root of 100 is 10. So that is your final answer. Does the final answer have to be a nice, pretty, clean number? No, but sometimes it is. And again, if your teacher is okay with you using a calculator, then honestly, just type in the original problem, which will take you from beginning to end. But it's nice to show our work. Now, for the midpoint, completely different idea. So for the midpoint, maybe we can set up a formula. So for a midpoint, what we can do is we can do a large parentheses like that. And what we can do is we can go over 2. And if you want, you could label them x1, y1, x2, y2. And then what you want to do is put plus. So again, for midpoint, this is the skeleton or the template that I would always set up. Now, do kind of what you did before. You know how for the previous problem, we took the x's and we put them together. We put the y's and we put them together. Do the same thing here. Take the x's and put them on the same level, like right here. -9 goes there and the 6 goes there. So the x's, group them together there, and then the y's, copy and paste them, one on each side, like that. And now we can clean this up. So let's see. So what's -9 plus 6? That's -3. The bottom is just 2. And then what's 8 plus negative? Plus negative is just like minus. So this is 8 minus 2, which is 6. And so this is negative 3 over 2, comma 3, because 6 divided by 2 is that. That doesn't reduce, it stays like this. So this is the midpoint. And yes, the formula is always over 2, because midpoint is average. When you average two numbers, you add them and divide by 2. So again, for distance, the answer for distance is a number. That number represents how far away those 2 points are on the XY axis, which we didn't discuss, but we could in a different video. Midpoint, the answer is not a number. For midpoint, the answer is a point, X, comma, Y.